Look at all the beautiful colors that are made up in this piece of artwork. Today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about analogous colors. Analogous colors are colors that are next to each other on the color wheel. Neighbors. So look at how those circles are identifying those colors. They're just right next to each other. And what more perfect of a project is with some roses. So I like to divide up my paper into fourths so that as I begin drawing my circles, I kind of have an idea where the center is. And then I wanted you to start out just by drawing some circles on your paper. After you draw your circles, draw some of these curved lines inside the circle that keep getting smaller and smaller. Let's watch it again. 2 curved lines, another 2, and so on and so forth. It almost reminds me of drawing football shapes or drawing arches inside each other that keep getting smaller and smaller. They're not too complicated if you start thinking about it that way. 2 curved lines that get smaller, and 2 curved lines that get smaller still. Then for my background, once I've done that to each of my roses, I'm going to start adding on some petals or leaves that you can add to the rest of your project, or just any kinds of decorations that you want. Then when you're done, let's take a moment and start outlining with Sharpie. Great, now that I've got my project outlined in Sharpie, let's go into grabbing some crayons and starting to color. You'll notice that my first couple flowers, I'm just going to start out by adding another color right away so that you can see the difference between one solid color and flowers that start to have those analogous colors. Colors that are next to each other on the color wheel, providing a little bit more value by the way that I add my colors. So it's not just like I'm taking one color and then putting another one on top of it, but instead I'm trying to focus in on value. The areas that are next to the Sharpie are areas that I'm pressing down a little bit harder with my second color of crayon and just gently shading it in, creating some values to the outside, just providing a little bit more contrast. Now compare that to some of these other colors that I'm just putting on. This is just the one solid color that I'm using for my project. Compare the two that have analogous colors compared to the rest of the picture. So let's step it up a notch. Let's start adding more colors. Remember at the beginning of the video when we started talking about analogous colors, colors that are next to each other? Look at how these real examples of flowers have analogous colors already in it. You'll notice that it's not just a yellow flower, it's not just a pink flower, it's not just a red flower, but instead, let's start building up some of those values with analogous colors, showing value throughout the flowers that you create. So going back into a second flower, look at how I started out with yellow, but then I'm developing that yellow with some oranges and reds. With this red rose, I grabbed a purple and a blue in my hand to create more value going around the different curved lines that I made to create more values, create more shadows, create more interest, create some highlights. I just feel like when I add more colors into the project, it really starts to become more 3D, more lifelike. It's really fun starting to use my knowledge of analogous colors and utilize that into my work. So again, we'll go ahead and continue on by providing some analogous colors together into this project. It made me think a lot of those images that I saw at the beginning, the flowers that created more than just one color in the rose, making it look more 3D. I really had fun adding in some analogous colors into this project. Look at how I did the same thing with the leaves. The leaves started out green. I added some blue to give it some more depth and more value changes, and I used some yellow to create more highlights or more lighter values. And lastly, I'm going to go ahead and color the background. Your background can be any color combination that you want. I just went ahead and I used like that rainbow effect, starting light and working my way to darker colors on the outside edge. Lastly, I'm taking a black and going over all my designs just to make those images pop even more. So now that I've taken my black and outlined it, boy, do I love the finished project. I love the way this looks and has a nice finished touch. Thanks for watching.